This week on Fight Recap, UFC 254, Nurmagomedov versus Gaethje.
Stay tuned.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking day. Oh, yeah.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Bro Down Podcast. I'm Andy Smith.
And I'm Tim Fulton.
And this is Fight Recap.
Yeah, it is.
UFC 254, Nurmagomedov versus Gaethje.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. So, let's just jump right into it, bud.
Yeah, let's talk about it. First up, obviously, is Khabib versus Gaethje. I'm sad.
Yeah, Justin did really good.
He did. He looked really good. I find Justin's style kind of funny because he's all over the place when he's in the ring, and I like have internal dialogue about what I want to talk about, and like I was like, part of me was like, he always looks so chaotic. I was like, that's not a good word for it. And I was like, he looks clumsy, but that's not a good word for it.
It's like organized chaos.
Yeah, because no matter, I couldn't think of a good word that didn't make it sound like I'm saying he's sloppy.
Yeah.
But that's not it.
Yeah.
But he's all over the place, and I was having high hopes, and
Yeah, it was. I mean, he was definitely fighting a little bit more chaotic than when he fought Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
But he kind of had to. You notice that his stance was way lower because obviously he was pretty prepared for the shot.
I noticed.
He did a really good job in round one, stopping the takedown until obviously the very last part of the round.
Yeah.
He was doing really good with the leg kicks too. I think he hurt Khabib's lead leg pretty bad.
He did.
And he was catching Khabib with some shots, but he could. I noticed that he was visibly. It looked like he was visibly tired in the first round, at the end of the first round, and he came out in the second round and he was doing good again. And then Khabib just grabbed a leg, put him down, and 20 seconds later he was unconscious.
And that's the thing. Like, he did fine when it was stand up, but the second Khabib shot in for the legs, I mean, they've been saying for how long that Gaethje is going to be the best person to be able to defend the takedown. But you can only do that so many times. Even the best people with the best takedown defense eventually get caught.
By Khabib, yeah. It wasn't a matter of if, it was when.
Yeah.
But it's, can he get back up? And I think maybe Justin was, I don't know, man. It's a combination mostly of just Khabib being that good on the ground.
So friggin' good. So fast.
Yeah, and I don't think we've ever seen him in that setup before. And, it's a very, he did it so fast too. Justin was, I think he was a little winded, and yeah, he's just fucking good, man.
I know.
He's really good.
So now what?
Oh, this part I didn't tell you because I wanted to do it on the podcast. Khabib retired.
What?
Yeah, he put his gloves in the middle of the octagon at the end.
What?
Yeah, it was like a 10-minute speech up there. You could look it up when we're done.
Oh my.
Yeah, so he basically said like he didn't want to do the fight to begin with because his father passed away.
Yeah.
And he basically said he promised his mom he wouldn't fight anymore after this. So, because his dad wasn't with him, so he basically put his gloves down and retired in the ring.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
I think the only fight he would come back for, I mean, he says he's going to do something. He usually does it. But if he did come back, I think he was saying the only fight that he would ever come back for would be probably for GSP.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
I mean, the man, how many fights has he had? And he's only lost one round?
yeah, against Conor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now,
So
now who do you have in there? You got Gaethje, Tony. They already fought, and it was pretty one-sided.
yeah, it was.
So, it's up for grabs now.
Do you throw?
And then it's, again, like the John Jones thing. It's not like people are always going to say, like, you're second best.
Yeah,
You're second best, which
in this case is like
Gaethje already was
true.
that because he had the interim belt.
Yeah,
Interesting stuff.
it is interesting stuff. Do you
Yeah.
put Dustin back into the mix, Poirier?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that fight would be a good fight.
Yeah,
I think
they did
already-
fight once
yeah.
already,
yeah.
but still,
Yeah. So I think Dustin won that fight, right?
I don't know. My mind's kind of blown right now. I didn't know that.
Trying to think, because I know that Gaethje dropped, I think, 2 in a row. One to Eddie Alvarez, I believe, and I forget who the other one was for. But, yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're going to have to see when the dust clears what they actually decide to do. But, Yeah.
Holy shit.
So yeah. Now that there's no champ at 155.
Well, no one was expecting that.
Yeah, I think he said that. I think he
Okay.
hinted and alluded towards it a little bit closer to the fight. And I think he said after that, like a couple of days ago, he said something like, "The only fight that interests me after Gaethje would be GSP. I'm not going to continue doing, the same stuff here, which is just beating people up."
Could you
for,
imagine that
at
fight?
ease. Oh yeah, I would. I can't even think about it because I get too excited and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think GSP has been rumored to be returning for like what, a year now.
Yeah, it was the
And-
same thing before he fought Bisping. He was
Yeah.
rumored and then he finally did, but who the fuck knows, man?
Yeah.
We'll get excited for that when it starts to go on. But moving on,
Yeah,
We
let's
have-
move on.
Whittaker versus Cannonier. Whittaker looked really good, man. Cannonier looked good too, but
Not good enough.
yeah, Whittaker was taking a lot of damage to the legs. I think at the end of the fight, though, Cannonier only landed like 9 or 12 head strikes on Whittaker, but he landed like 22 leg kicks.
Yeah. He was still popping around though. Like I know it's like a brave face and all that other bullshit, but
yeah,
like
he's gonna be limping.
he's gonna be limping, but he was popping around that ring. Like
Yeah.
even at the end of the second, like he had like a little.
Yeah,
pump
he
in his
looked
step.
way better than in this fight than he did in his last fight against Izzy. They were talking about that during the fight, how he was very stationary against Izzy, which
Yeah.
probably wasn't the best thing to do with a
Yeah.
striker like that. But Cannonier's a dangerous guy, and Whittaker got through him, and he was already the number 1 contender. So he just keeps his place as that, I guess, as number 1 contender.
How many fights has been for the last style bender in between Whittaker and him?
He beat
Yoel?
he beat Whittaker, he beat Yoel, and then he just beat
Ricky Martin.
Paul Acosta.
So do you do the rematch already?
I think you kind of have to because
Yeah,
there's nobody else for Whittaker to fight.
I agree. See, that's one of the problems with these divisions is that once you get that high up there,
Yeah, it's the same faces.
it's the same faces.
But
But
I'd be
wanna
interested
see
to
the
look at
same
that
faces.
rematch because I think that you learn. Most guys learn more from losses than they do from wins, and I think
Yeah.
Whittaker is one of the most underrated champions and fighters of all time. I don't think he gets enough credit by the mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, Cannonier was what? He was seated third, and he put him away like not like it was nothing. I don't want to undermine like these people's
Yeah,
victories.
it was a
and
tough
I don't want
fight.
to sound like an armchair champion here.
Yeah,
but he put him away like it was nothing.
yeah, but he was Cannonier used to be a heavyweight, and the fact that he went and did that to a guy like Cannonier is very impressive, especially coming off a loss and a pretty long layoff.
Yeah.
So yeah, Whittaker's
Interesting.
back.
Whittaker's back. He's back. All right. Next up on our list, we're talking. You can have a shot at these
Jacob
names.
Malkoun versus Phillip Hawes.
Thank you.
This one lasted 19 seconds. Phillip Hawes just this is his first fight in the UFC. He just got a contract off Dana White's Contender Series. And the only thing we know about this guy right now off of this fight is that he's got a lot of power and he's fast.
Yeah.
And you didn't see the post-fight interview, but he seems like a nice guy.
I like that. I like going there nice.
So we'll keep our eyes on Mr. Hawes.
Yeah, I just want to add in that this entire fight, all of 19 seconds that it took, just consisted of Jacob over there trying to survive.
Yeah.
It from the get-go, it was please don't murder me.
High pressure.
High pressure.
Yeah.
Like,
Didn't do good.
No. All right, last but not least, we have, go ahead.
Magomed, Ankalaev, and Cutelaba.
Yes.
I keep always thinking of Chupacabra, that mythical fucking rat animal.
Yeah.
So Chupacabra. This is the rematch from when he basically like acted like he was more hurt than he was, playing possum a little bit,
Yeah.
and they stopped the fight prematurely. There was none of that this time.
No.
Both guys look really good. I think if you match these guys up 10 times, I mean, it might even be a 50-50 split. But both guys were landing. Both guys looked like they were doing good. Chupacabra was being a little bit more calm, cool, collected than he normally is,
Yeah.
I think. And I don't know if that helped him or hurt him, but he got caught bad. And the ref jumped in a little late, in my opinion. And he got knocked out cold.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cold.
It was cold.
Yeah. So this has been settled. Magomed's definitely going to be moving up in the ranks after that fight.
I agree. Part of me loved to see this. When we first started doing the whole BDP thing, I liked Ian for like a hot minute, and then I was like, okay, he's kind of like douchey, and then like he's kind of super douchey.
Yeah.
So now I kind of he is my Conor McGregor. I like to see him lose. Like I get excited about it. So that one was kind of fun for me to watch. But like
until he went unconscious, then you're like, okay. That's enough.
Yeah, I think I verbally said, "Please stop it."
Yeah, yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah, that was a rough one to watch. You don't want to see shit like that. But yeah,
no.
Like you were saying, he did look good in there, but it was you just get caught sometimes.
Yeah, he got caught throwing a spinning back elbow for the first time he got dropped, and then the second time he got dropped bad, and then he was out cold. Like that was probably the worst knockout of the night, or the worst finish of the night.
Oh yeah. No one wants to see a guy laying down, getting punched in the face.
No.
I mean, not a lot of people, I should say.
No, not good. So, yeah, that's it. You got anything else to add?
I don't. Just another night of wonderful fights. We've been spoiled this entire year. So it's funny because, like, looking at these fights, there were a lot of quick knockouts. There was a lot of, like, everything was super, super, super fast.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, it wasn't the best night of fights. But at the same time, I'm like, how fucking spoiled are we? It was a great night of fights. It was.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Yeah, we get spoiled sometimes. It's almost like you have to, like, erase all the memory of the previous couple months because otherwise you're like, oh, all right, I guess it was okay. You know, like 7 finishes.
These guys put out, like, ridiculous performances.
Yeah. But
it is what it is.
Yeah, I think also, too, you know, with Khabib fighting and I just think it was. I wish we would have saw him fight Tony first, but that's never going to happen now.
Oh yeah, that is never going to happen.
It's never going to happen now.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's a totally different matchup. Just like how Justin fought completely different when he fought Khabib, he fought completely different when he fought Tony.
Yeah.
So I just would have liked to have seen it, but I doubt that fight was ever going to happen now. So it is what it is.
It was never. God literally said this shall not happen.
Like 6 times.
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous.
6 times.
Maybe they'll like find each other outside of a bar one day and just be like, "Let's go." 3
I
rounds,
hope
5
not.
rounds. Let's go. It'll be nice. All right. I think that about wraps us up here. Let us know what you think about these fights in the comments down below. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell notification. Last but not least, don't forget to go to brodownpro.com. We're constantly coming out with new cool bro stuff. We have sweatshirts, hoodies. Same thing. We have sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, tank tops, galore. There's a bunch of stuff on there. Go to brodownpro.com.
Everything. Mugs, drawstring bags. We got it all.
We do. We're constantly changing stuff up too, so don't be bashful about coming back. We'll catch you guys next time.
You're listening to Bro Down Podcast all fucking